I've named that deer Lucky because I really don't think I'm going to get in there this year. Well guys, it's a week before season and I just landed permission on the 1,200 acres where Lucky's been staying at. Haven't seen Lucky in like 2 months. We're in the spot where Lucky spent his whole summer. Hoping he's still here, but I have no idea. Still no Lucky. Don't know if he's dead, don't know if he's gone, don't know what's going on. So Lucky, the deer I risked my entire 2025 hunting season on and completely failed. Let's get into it. So this story actually starts at like the end of the 2024 season. I was chasing a big 8-pointer on the small property I'd hunted my entire life. This was him. I just called him the Big 8. Just got my old Hoyt Rampage XT back out and was back into archery hunting. Had harvested a few does and just fell back in love with archery hunting. We grew up completely, almost solely shotgun hunting here in Midwest Indiana, and it's fun, don't get me wrong, nothing against it. It's just after getting back into the challenge of archery hunting, that was my sole purpose. So after the 2024 season, I found a channel called Seek One. I'm sure you've heard of it. I fell in love with the whole story of one deer and just finding a deer, door knocking, trying to get permission to get on the deer, find them, hunt them, the whole 9 yards. So after watching their videos constantly all winter, thinking about deer, dreaming about deer, scouting, just looking for places. I had a few places in mind where I've seen deer when I was younger. So around comes May, where we're out scouting, looking for deer. I find this 10-pointer. I thought, that is my goal. That is the deer I want to go after. He's a nice deer, probably going to be 140, 150. That'll be just a cool deer to start with. The only problem was he was on 1,200 acres. It was almost impossible to get into. I had talked to the owner on the phone, hard no, people hunt it, basically go away. So continue scouting around. Along comes June and I find Lucky, this big 10-pointer here. Find him in a bachelor group in a bean field like you typically do. One more problem, he's on that same 1,200 acres, just the other end of it. So I get in contact with the farmer who farms the ground, and he wants does gone, which I can do that. So he talks to the owner, thinking I might have a chance in here. Yet again, another no. So all this is going on, just hoping and praying that everything will work out. I start scouting around and getting little pieces of permission all around. Well, and there's another camera on another 30-acre piece. I have spots straight east, straight west, south, and southwest of this big 10 I'm calling Lucky, because I'm not going to be able to get where he's at. I've already been denied, and there's people hunting there and right around his core area. But I have right, left, south. I have east, west, south. I'm going to try to get a piece to the north, but I'm not super hopeful. We're just trying to locate this deer and see where he goes once he changes to more of his rut area. So I'm just trying to track him down. So we got 12 cameras going. We're going to find him if he leaves that block. If he stays on that block, which I'm not convinced he will, because there's a bunch of hunting pressure there. This piece I just got, no one's ever hunted. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. We got 12 cameras that are going to be up in the next couple of days. It's a bunch of scouting, see if we can't find this deer. I got a few places that were 2, 3, 4 acres. Finally got a pretty big piece straight west that was 34 acres, I believe, with a nice field with winter wheat in it. So I knew that'd be good late season if I needed it. There was a couple nice bucks on there that I was watching. Just the problem was I just found this deer Lucky, and I knew he was going to be a monster for me anyway. So probably the biggest deer in the area that I knew about, this little general area. So he's, at the time, I'm assuming he's low to mid 70s. I'm not great at estimating deer, but we continue to get spots, put cameras out. Still working on the big major piece to try to get in there. Well, we just got permission on a 200-acre piece. As you can see, most of it's field, but it is bean field, and the drainages connect to the drainage where Lucky's been at all summer. This is straight east and kind of southeast of him. So we're going to set up 3 cameras in a few areas where I think they're all going to be traveling. Kind of scout around, and then we're going to see what happens. All right, well, we got all 3 of our cameras out. This place is beautiful. I have high hopes for here, but we'll let the cameras do the work and see what happens. We get a piece west. We get a few small pieces to the south. We get a big 200-acre piece to the east. The only problem with that parcel is it's mostly field with just a tiny bit of wood. So better than nothing. It was the closest piece I had at the time. So I'll take what I can get, right? In the meantime, my wife and I are out every evening watching him in this bean field with his bachelor group. I mean, every evening he was out there like clockwork, just showing off for the camera. It was so cool. I have so much great footage of this deer. So finally, it's getting close to season. I'm shooting like crazy. I'm like high 2,000 shots for the year at this point, just feeling super confident. Got my saddle so I can be mobile and kind of bounce around to these different properties. I'm getting pictures of nice bucks. I'm just so wrapped up in this one deer called Lucky that I wasn't even really thinking about these deer. They were just cataloged for the 2026 season. So I'm probably like 2-3 weeks out from season, and I give the guy that owns the property another phone call and said, hey, I'd just like to talk to you in person. Here's the deal. I explained the whole thing. Just, I'm after this one deer. I just would like in here for this one deer if possible. I just archery hunt. I know most of the guys on this property, from what I've heard, most of them just gun hunt. If I could just get in early and late season around the gun season, which of course our gun season in Indiana is 2 weeks long during the main part of the rut. So that does make things very challenging, as you can imagine. 2 weeks before season, I call him, like I said. He says, you know what, come in, let's talk face to face. Let's see what happens. Took me a while to get there because of work and everything and his busy schedule. So I go into his office, I talk to him. It's really sounding like a no. Even though he told me to come in and talk face to face, see what we could work out, it's really sounding like a no until I bring up that my uncle used to drive semi for him. And once I bring that up, he's like, you know what? I think we can make room for you. So I'm trying to contain all of my emotions. I'm ecstatic. I'm over the world. Finally, I'm on the 1,200 acres where Lucky has been spending his whole summer. Well, guys, it's a week before season and I just landed permission on the 1,200 acres where Lucky's been staying at. And I got permission on all of it. There's a couple other guys that hunt it. It's a week before season, so I can't really go in and scout and put cameras out. So I'm just gonna have to put cameras out as I hunt. But I can't believe it's kind of coming together. Haven't seen Lucky in like 2 months. I'm assuming he's held up there. He could have moved on, but there's a good chance he's there, or there's a good chance he's coming back to their late season. So season starts in a week. I'll see you when we climb up in a tree. Only problem is at this point, he kind of disappeared because the beans had started turning. So I knew he was going somewhere else for food. I just didn't know where. I assumed it was deeper into the woods that was on this farm ground. We leave the place. I'm ecstatic. I'm calling everyone. Hey, we got in here. I think I can make it happen. So week before season, like I said, I didn't want to just blow in there putting a bunch of cameras. I get ready. I'm continuing to shoot, getting ready, getting all my gear set up, just planning e-scouting, going in. So opening weekend, I decided to go in, even though it's hot, because I just would like to hunt and get some cameras out. I'm just gonna go on the edges, be super careful, get some cameras out. I wanna see this deer and find out what he's doing. All right, guys, so we're 2 hours away from our first sit on Lucky. I'm actually able to sit where he spent his summer. I haven't seen him in a couple months, about a month and a half. So I don't know if he's still hanging out there, but if he is, I'm gonna try to sneak in. We got good wind. They're actually picking the field right next to it, so it'll give me some cover to get in sound-wise. We're gonna sit. We're in between bed and food, I believe. So if he's there, hopefully we see him. We're gonna take some practice shots. And almost 3,100 shots for the year. Not bad for 50 yards. The one on the right, I shoot a surprise break. Wherever the pin's at when it pops is where it's at. So I had a wind gust hit right when it popped. So that one went right. 4-shot group, not bad at all at 50 yards. Hope to get him in a lot closer than that, and it should be a piece of cake. As long as I can keep my nerves under control. First day of the 2025 archery season. We're in the spot in one of the drainages where Lucky spent his whole summer. Hoping he's still here, but I have no idea. Wind's good. He should be coming from this direction. If he does, from bedding, going to a standing cornfield. There's also alfalfa over here too, so I'm just hoping to catch him on his way from bed to food this evening. I got in way early, 4 o'clock. Didn't get dark till 8. So I go out a couple times. Nothing's really working. So I just decided to spend a whole day. It was 95 degrees, I believe, if I remember right, in October. So I go out and I spend a whole day just scouting the entire property. Maybe not the best decision, but at the time I thought it was. And I put out like 5, 6, 7 cameras. All right, guys. So this is the field Lucky spent his entire summer. And still have no idea if he's still here, but
I did find a scrape that's fresh on the edge of this field, rather, on my way in last night. Set up a camera, bonehead spray on it, freshen it up. If he's here, kind of take him off, see if we can get him to take to it. He may not be here, but found it, so we're going to give it a shot. Let's see if he shows up. I'm going to go hunt tonight, so let's go get set up. All right, guys, so we hunted this morning. There's a couple bucks in the back of this field. On my walk in, saw a couple does on a hardwood ridge that I hunted. So I wanted to scout this on the way out, and I'm glad I did. White oaks everywhere, 2 gigantic white oak trees. There's a double base white oak over there that's just dropping like crazy. There's 2 scrapes right here. There's rubs everywhere along this wood line. There's 5 scrapes on a scrape line way over there, but there's 2 here. There's 2 or 3 right there on one tree. There's 2 or 3 down there on another. So I sprayed some bonehead spray on it, put a camera on it. This might be the spot. Let's hope Lucky's here. There's obviously more than just 1 or 2 bucks here, so let's hope he's cruising through here and try to put a plan together. All right, what's going on, guys? So it's opening weekend. It's hot, almost 90 degrees. I've been hunting a little bit, trying to scout while I hunt, and it's just not working. Too much of a pain. I feel like I'm doing more harm than good, so I'm just gonna spend all day today scouting, finding funnels, moving cameras, trying to figure out where Lucky went or another potential target buck. It's gonna be a whole day of just moving cameras, scouting around. We got 400 acres of timber to look over, so let's get to it. That's the kind of sign we're looking for. We're trying to find a choke point here to put this camera, but only 40 yards in, that looks pretty promising. All right, so the north end of this property, we used to live right here actually, and we'd always watch big deer in the field late in the year. And I see why now after walking it. There is buck sign everywhere. There is rubs everywhere. There's a couple scrapes, bunch of funnel areas where a bunch of trails come into one headed towards a wheat field from bedding, which is where I just put this camera. I don't know, some of them rubs are 4.5 feet high off the ground, so bigger deer, I would assume. I don't know what the camera do to work. I'm gonna get out of here for a couple weeks, let the weather cool down. I only saw, there's 1 tree stand on the property I have permission on because there's other guys that hunt it. There's a stand on the wheat field that is someone else's property. So I'm hoping to get in between that, catch them coming from bedding to the food. We'll let the camera do the work. Hopefully Lucky's in here. There's some big buck signs, so we'll see. Let's get back to the truck. We got a few more cameras to move. A redneck tip, walk in a sprayer track. It makes life so much easier. Plus, the farmers hate when you destroy their crops, so be courteous. I did jump a buck out of one of these drainages. I took a video of him to see what he is. He looks somewhat decent. I just found what I believe is a rub line. I'm not new to hunting, but I'm new to the woodsmanship aspect of it. But like rub, heavy trail, rub way down there, 2 or 3 rubs here, and this is just beaten down full of white oak. So I'm assuming this is like a major buck travel corridor on top of this funnel off this drainage. So I put a camera off to the side, trying to up my woodsmanship skills so I can go anywhere and find big deer and get on them. Taking a whole day looking for sign, figuring out what the deer are doing. 1 more camera to put up. I mean, it is everywhere over here. Found a major travel corridor. So, heck yeah. Let the camera do the work on the funnel and see what happens. Once again, I mean, it is just everywhere through here. And it's a major funnel. So, got that all marked on my Spartan Forge, but I think I'm starting to learn what they mean by funnels and pinch points, which might be basic to most people, but woodsmanship wise, I've never tried or attempted any of it. So I'm trying to learn, and I feel like I'm learning a lot. Let's keep walking. I mean, look at that. That's almost 5 foot up on a tree. Fresh one right there, bed right there. There's 2 scrapes right over there, right next to each other. I mean, just rubs everywhere, bedding all over the place. There's another camera because this ridge side here is just covered in it like crazy. I'm gonna let that camera soak too. I'm gonna go grab a camera to my north. It's not in that great of a spot and move it. I'm gonna check the other side of this ridge because I feel like there's gonna be sign over there too. So we're gonna move it back a little deeper and make a plan on hunting it, and then we're out of here. I think I've found the area, boys and squirrels. What's up, guys? So it's Sunday the 5th. Season opened 5 days ago. It's been very hot, so not even really worth hunting. Most of the bucks are moving nighttime right now because it's so hot. So I'm moving some more cameras. I moved a bunch yesterday. I'm moving the rest of them today and replacing batteries so I can just leave the woods alone until the end of October or the first cold front, whenever that is. But we got this alfalfa field that there's this decent buck hitting. He's probably high 130s, low 140s. My only bow buck is 112 inches or something. So a good deer. very good. I'd be very happy with it. But I'm still trying to locate Lucky and see if he's around. I got some good funnels, a bunch of cameras, getting some more bucks popping up that if they make it a year or two will be really nice deer. So I'm just hoping Lucky shows up. So we're moving cameras for a couple hours and we're going to get the heck out of the woods for 2 or 3 weeks. Big old rub from last year. Whoever did that was a big dude. We're just scouting around. I think we found a pinch point to put this camera, so we're going to go back, put the camera up, and move one more on this north end. Then we got to go down south on the property and move a couple there. So let's get to it. Well, we got the camera over there. All these trails in this area funnel, kind of 2 funnels. One into this field here, and there's actually a rub right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's an old rub on that tree over there, and I've seen bucks hang out in this area. So we got a camera on a funnel into this field. We got another camera up here on a scrape. We're going to move to the head of this drainage that leads to a wheat field to see if there's a funnel there as well, which I believe there will be. And like, I'm not a good enough woodsman. Is that a scrape from last year or the year before that's scabbed over, or 2 years? If so, that's a huge scrape right on this funnel. I don't know well enough to know. I'm pretty sure that's an old scrape, or an old rub, rather. If I said scrape over there, I'm sorry, rub over there. So I'm pretty sure this is like a heavily used buck area. So this year, don't get me wrong, I would love, absolutely be ecstatic to have a shot at Lucky. My first year trying this, but I don't expect that to happen at all. I'm just taking this year to really learn and absorb as much as I can, woodsmanship-wise, listening to podcasts, old timers, and seeing it boots on the ground. So this year is all about just information, boots on the ground, seeing what I need to do, learning from mistakes, correcting it for next year. That's kind of where my head's at this year. There's plenty of 140s and 150s in this area that I can, for sure, I'm pretty sure get a chance at my personal best, regardless. I went from hunting 5 acres my whole life to now I have almost 2,000. So just a bunch of learning. It's really hard to tell on camera, but I just found what I believe is called a community scrape. This scrape is like 4 foot in diameter under this beech tree. Bunch of heavy sign, major funnel here. So we set up the camera, kind of brushed it in just a little bit. Let's see what this does. I'm gonna get the heck out of here.
And it worked because I got my first pictures of Lucky, my own camera pictures finally, on 2 different ends of the property. So I'm ecstatic. He's still here, he's still alive, he's shed out, he's just as big as I thought he was. He broke off a few inches, nothing crazy, but he's alive. So we're in the game. After that, I let the woods calm down for, I don't know, a week and a half, and then it's on. I started hunting like crazy.
All right, guys, last night was the first cold front of the year. It's October 23rd, so we're getting right into the beginning of pre-rut, I believe. It was 36 degrees last night, light frost. So I snuck in this morning after my thermals shifted. Right at that gray hour, they started picking the cornfield to my left yesterday. I'm gonna sit all day today, tomorrow, and Saturday. All 3 days are mid-30s at night, mid-50s during the day, so hoping it gets the deer on their feet during the daylight hours. I'm already seeing some 130-inch bucks on camera late morning, so let's see if Lucky sneaks through here. I'm on a ridge-top funnel, got a just off wind. He hasn't been through here in a couple weeks, so he's due to come through here and check it, so let's see what happens.
I think from the course of like mid-October to I think it was almost Christmas, if not Christmas. I set like 70 some times trying to find this deer. So I start sitting like crazy late October, still playing it super cool, trying to just hunt the edges, not disturb the place. I didn't want to ruin anything because I knew there wasn't that much hunting pressure at the time. There was some guys around this big parcel that did archery hunt, one in particular, good hunters, and little did I know the entire time they had summer pictures and early season pictures of Lucky the entire time. That's where he was living. He was on their place. So even though he was camera shy on my place, I think I only got like 7 pictures total of him. They had all sorts of pictures of him, which I'll pop in here and there. So they were hunting him as well. And I knew other people were hunting this deer. I mean, he's potentially a 170s deer. So I knew a bunch of people would be hunting him, or at least know about him. I continue to hunt. I'm seeing all sorts of does. I'm just so hyper focused on this buck. I actually passed on a probably high 140s 9-pointer twice, which my dad thought I was stupid for doing that twice. But when you're so focused on a deer that could be 170s, your first year trying this, you're just hyper focused. Learned my lesson on that. But I'm hunting this place, just loving it. 1,200 acres. It's about 700 acres of actual timber. So I'm just exploring every time I'm hunting, playing it safe, playing the winds, playing the thermals. I'm seeing all sorts of deer, buttloads of does, all sorts of coyotes, all sorts of turkeys. Just cool, very pretty place. But he just disappears. I have no camera pictures from like early October. Actually, that's the first and last pictures I ever got him was early October. Like right after opening day, I got 2 or 3 pictures of him, and that's the last time I ever saw him on camera or in person. So I'm hunting a ghost from October all the way through the rut, passing on nice deer, seeing all sorts of cool deer, seeing all sorts of rutting activity, all sorts of does. I mean, scrapes the size of car hoods. I just thought for sure he'd be in there. I just think he was living on a tiny little section that was not on this 1,200 acres like I thought it would be. And the place he was living, I could not get permission because people hunted it and they just wouldn't let anyone else in. So that's just was what it was. So hunting like crazy every chance I get, taking off work when I can, hunting during the rut almost every day on these major scrape lines, just hoping to catch him coming through on a doe when he's vulnerable and get him. And that never happened. I hunted all the way through into the bitter cold, even with my bow. I mean, there was a couple days I was hunting, it was 10 degrees, just trying to hopefully catch him out. When no one else was in the woods, he thought he was safe. And then I'm laying in bed one night and my phone goes off. And it's one of my buddies and he sends me a picture, and it is the neighbor with Lucky. It was muzzleloader season and I knew the hunt was over. Almost relieving because I was hunting a ghost for so long that I was just like wondering, is he dead and I don't know? Is he completely gone and I don't know? What's going on? So it was a relief, but then after the relief set in the sadness of it's over. I'm not gonna get a chance at this deer. So I did know the guy, shot him a text, said, hey, could I come see him? And he was gracious enough to let me come see him, which was awesome to at least hold him and see him in person after months and months of dreaming about this deer. So he ended up scoring, I believe, 164 and some change, and he broke off, I believe, roughly 3 inches. So he'd have been almost a 170. So crazy nice deer. So then after all that, I'm like, what do I do now? So I'm just like, I'm going to change my mode. It's late season. Let's just get some does on the ground, some doe management, get some meat in the freezer. Let's just have some fun. And I think I hunted one time with that mentality, and I got a picture of this huge 9-pointer. I also had pictures of, I just kind of being so focused on Lucky, I kind of forgot this deer existed. So I kind of shifted my mode to this deer, which I called lopside, because he had one big side, one kind of smaller side. Older, mature deer, big deer, probably in the 50s. Awesome deer. So once again, like an addict, I'm back on the hook. So I'm chasing this deer. I got pictures of him here, there, and everywhere. The problem is the hunting pressure's been so crazy after gun season. He's almost completely nocturnal. So trying to find him in the daylight and get on him is almost impossible. Once again, hunting a ghost. And every time you're going in, especially when he's only showing up at night, I'm just doing more harm than good, especially looking back now. But at the moment, I was just like so into it. The obsession really gets to you and you can make some bad decisions, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But so I hunt all the way through to the end of the year, except for the last 3 days because it was so bitter cold and I was just over it. Didn't get him, but he did survive the season. So hopefully he shows up next year, and that will be my target for next year, I hope, as long as he continues to improve or doesn't go crazy downhill. But after all that, I'm just sitting there that last day, miserable, actually miserable from hunting so much. Didn't even harvest a single deer all year. And I was planning on harvesting all of my doe tags, which is like 6 or 7, somewhere in there. I'm just reflecting on the season. It is fun, don't get me wrong, but the takeaway from this season was I have to be so much better about actually just having fun still chasing deer and chasing big deer, but I still need to set apart times in that to have fun, harvest some deer, put some meat in the freezer, just enjoy the hunting experience instead of putting so much pressure on one deer. And then when that one deer is gone, it's just like, man, what now? That adrenaline and that high is gone. So now, will I abide by those rules? We'll see when summer comes around and the big deer start showing up. I'm really getting excited to get back into it, into the summer scouting, finding a deer. I live on the Indiana-Illinois border, so I'd really love to find some places in Illinois to possibly hunt 2 states this year and just enjoy it, find some good deer. I'll still have one major deer I'm all in on, but I need to have backup plans and build storage around multiple deer so I'm not so consumed and all in on one deer that I ruin my whole season and ruin all my fun for the season over one deer. That is the story of Lucky and how I completely failed my entire 2025 season to get on them and harvest them.